welcome to Weekly Profit Talk. Each week at 8:30 Mountain Time on Wednesday, we sit and we talk for a few minutes about the things that accumulate to the bottom line of a successful private medical practice. 8:30 Mountain Time is equal to 7:30 in the Pacific time zone and 10:30 in the Eastern time zone. So we do this every single Wednesday, and we hope to catch you this and every single week going forward. So let's begin. I want to talk about optimizing your practice's cash flow and profits this week. Now, this is kind of a 30,000 foot overview topic. We've explored some of the subtopics in this conversation in more specificity in the past couple 3 months. So this is just kind of a general overview. This may be helpful to just kind of, as it were, scoop your thoughts together up into one neat little stack and possibly help you to take a look at the big picture of your practice. Of course, one of the things I like to touch on, of course, is that you're dealing with a stereotype. Everybody thinks that because you have MD at the end of your name that you're automatically wealthy, but that's a stereotype that kind of overlooks all the significant costs and logistics and everything else that goes into doing your practice. I want to explore some of the ways to maximize the cash flow in your business, which is basically the hemoglobin on which the oxygen of your the health of your practice is carried. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to put up a couple of things. And by the way, this is a live presentation. If you happen to be watching this live and you have a comment or a question, we're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and of course, as always, LinkedIn. You can pop something into the comments, and if I've got an answer for you, I'll provide it. So let's begin on this. Of course, strategic cost management is just simply a matter of taking a long view of the things that you need to spend money on to keep your practice thriving. That, of course, includes personnel as well as supplies, and especially in the 21st century, software is a big one. So, of course, the goal is to try to maintain some sort of balance between cutting costs as much as possible and providing the highest quality care, certainly. Simple things like purchasing things in discounted bulk, or even investing in energy efficient equipment can certainly help you with stuff like that. Budgeting for future growth. It's really more than just tracking income and expenses. When you look at your financial statements, you're basically going to history class. You're looking at what your balance sheet was. You're looking at what your profit and loss was. But budgeting is actually a new level of skill in the accounting field, known as micro forecasting, where you can actually plug specific scenarios in, such as the hiring of a new specific sort of support staff, or a purchase of a diagnostic equipment. You should be able to sit down with your business advisor, plug these things in, and forecast into the immediate future as to what that will do for your practice. And that gives you basically a navigation toward your immediate and midterm future. Investing in technology is obviously very important and kind of a no-brainer. Of course, you want to do electronic health records and the ACH system for submission of claims. I would add to that, if you have an opportunity to consider doing secure online portal for intake information. As a once in a while patient and recipient of medical services myself, I appreciate the reduction in wait times in waiting rooms, as well as less interaction with other strangers. And if you look at it that way, this is actually a step toward additional HIPAA compliance, but it also creates a level of convenience and confidence in you that's invaluable. Staff training and development, that's obvious. Probably don't need a lot of discussion on that. One of the things that you can look into toward the future, of course, is the cultivating and mentoring of new up and coming talent. Certainly. A big one for me. Oops, I'm sorry, beg your pardon. Tax planning and strategy. You don't have to react to taxes once a year. And in fact, doing so could be very deleterious to you because you could find yourself actually paying additional underpayment penalties. Tax planning for the year in progress is critical because if you make enough money that you're going to owe over $1,000 at the end of the year, the IRS requires you to make estimated tax payments. Now, they don't stand over you with a bullwhip and crack it and make sure that you do it. What they do is they penalize you financially later. But the other reason, besides saving a few $100s, which may or may not be a big deal for you, but the big thing is you're basically also taking care of the tax obligation that your practice has as that obligation arises. In other words, you want to match your expenses to the period of time that you're making the money as closely as possible. This is actually known as matching principle. By doing so, you basically keep your room tidy, so to speak, and your tax filing at the end of the year is more a measure of metrics than a time to be stressed over scooping up additional money. And forward-looking tax planning into future years is actually also very beneficial. Leveraging debt. Obviously, you're starting a practice. You've already got student loans, unless you were one of the very fortunate few unicorn folks that managed to get a free ride for all of your education. I imagine the percentage of people listening to this to who that applies would be extremely small. So you're already familiar with debt, but you also have to have certain things in place. You may or may not have X-ray machines or other diagnostic equipment, for example, making sure that you're leveraging debt to its maximum effectiveness, looking for better terms or even consolidations, and constantly auditing your information for that is very helpful to your overall situation. Risk and emergency management. Maintaining some sort of a fund is vital because it helps to protect you against unforeseens. Additionally, I would add to that you should take a long look at your profit and loss statement, average your expenses for the year per month. I would keep a amount of liquid cash on hand, at least 2x of that amount. Say, for example, that your monthly expenses are $40,000. Cash on hand of about $80,000 is going to ensure that you don't have a sudden money hemorrhage and excess fees and other bank penalties, and basically set yourself up for the unforeseen event of emergencies. And of course, you want to make sure that your insurance is all covered as well. Everybody knows you have to have malpractice and liability. I would, if it were me, sit down and take a look at that on at least a biannual basis, make sure that your coverages are adequate and you're also getting the best possible deal on your premiums. So optimizing your cash flow and increasing profits involves a lot of strategic planning and diligent management. But if you take a look at these sort of things as you're moving forward in the growth and success of your practice, chances are that you're going to enjoy a greater success. And the main thing is, of course, to specialize in what you do, and don't be afraid to get help for the sort of things on the financial side of your business where you may not be as well versed. Remember, you went to school and did all your residencies for an average of 11 years to become a medical professional, not a financial expert. So, with that, I hope this all finds you well, and some portion of this was helpful for you today. Please do come and see us next week, 8:30 Mountain Time at 7:30 LA, 10:30 New York, and have an excellent rest of the day today, an awesome remainder of the week. Have very happy Memorial Day weekend. Please be safe. And if you do have a chance, do something randomly kind for a stranger. So until next week, we will see you next Wednesday. So long, and thank you so much.